Hi Plant Living friends, today I'm here to talk to you about bulbs. So, first of all, what is a bulb? A bulb is a plant in its dormant state. So everything in this bulb right here is everything you need to grow a plant. So this is a plant that has already grown up and gone dormant and is now waiting dormant until it's the right time of year for it to start growing again. In this video, I'm showing you fall bulbs, but there are also bulbs that can be planted in the spring. Traditionally, in a climate like ours, we are zone 5B or 6. Spring bulbs are bulbs that would not make it through the winter, and fall bulbs are bulbs that emerge early with flowers. And bulbs come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So this is an Allium Globemaster. Look at how enormous this bulb is. And also, this is an allium. This one is allium hair, and look at how cute and tiny it is. We have tulips, which are, you know, your stereotypical beautiful bulb, and they have that beautiful brown covering on the outside. We of course have daffodils, another standard early spring bulb. And they come in different sizes as well. And then we have some crazy looking bulbs. This is a hardy oxalis. Look at this hairy thing, it's so crazy. This is an anemone. It looks like a peach pit that's been sitting out in the sun for a few days. And fritillarias, these are crazy bulbs. You don't even know which way is the top or the bottom. Which leads me to, which way do you plant your bulbs? Typically bulbs have a sort of teardrop shape, and the flat part is the bottom and the pointy part is the top. So the bottom is where the roots emerge, that's why it's flat, and sometimes you could actually see some roots coming out of there. So you can see some roots coming out of the bottom of this allium. And then the top, or the pointy part, is where the plant will emerge. And sometimes when you look at it, you can kind of see that makes sense. That's the way the greens would grow out of it. And allium are an onion. So these are related to the onions and the garlic that you eat in your home. And some of them you may not know which way to plant them, such as this fritillaria. Which way is the top, which way is the bottom? It's really hard to tell. And if you aren't sure which way to plant your bulbs, make an educated guess, do your best bet, and then bulbs are really good at growing their way out of the ground. So even if you put your bulb in the ground upside down or sideways, it will still be okay. It just has a little bit easier time emerging in the spring if it's facing the right direction. When planting your bulbs, remember that they look best in groupings. So instead of buying one of this and one of this and one of this and kind of scattering them everywhere, pick a handful of tulips. Maybe you can get a variety of tulips, but get more than one. Get 3, 5, a bag full, and then plant them in the same area so they look nice and full when they emerge early spring. Same thing with daffodils. Get more than one, and they don't all have to be the same variety, but get more than one of the same family and plant them in the same sort of area of your garden. So your daffodils and your tulips are going to come up really early, and then they're going to look beautiful. You don't need to worry about hard frost hitting them because they come up naturally when they want to, and they should make it through a light couple of frosts. That is their natural time to bloom, and the flowers will die down. You can remove the dead flowers if you want. And then when the leaves have started to desiccate in April and May, that's a great time to trim them and let your perennials emerge from there. When choosing a location from your bulbs, remember that most bulbs are full sun. They'll tolerate a little bit of shade, but most of them are showy flowers and want a lot of sun. But because they emerge in early spring before most of the deciduous or leafy trees have grown up their leaves, you have a lot more locations to grow them in. So here at Groovy Plants Ranch, we have a lot of daffodils growing underneath an area with lots of trees, but because they have not leafed out, when the daffodils come up, they look really beautiful. We have a beautiful array here at Groovy Plants Ranch. We just love our daffodils. When you're actually putting them in the ground, every bulb has a different depth to be planted in. A good rule of thumb is that you want to plant your bulb 2 to 3 times deeper than the height of the bulb. So this bulb is about 3 inches. You're going to want to dig a hole that is about between 6 and 9 inches deep to plant it in. Similar to this guy, because although it's wider, it's about the same height. These little guys, much less deep. And make sure you're planting them with the flat part down and the pointy part up. Let me actually show you how to plant one so that you have a better idea of exactly what to do when you're planting them in the ground, and then you just leave them. So you plant them and then you let them go, and then they'll come up for you in the spring. All right, so I'm gonna show you exactly how to plant your bulbs. All you need is a plan of where you're gonna put them, a nice hand trowel or shovel, and your bulbs. So first thing you're gonna do is dig your hole, making sure that it is at least 2 or 3 times as deep as your bulb is, which I've done right here. And then you're gonna take your bulb, make sure you put the flat part down and the pointy part up, put it in the ground, just bury that guy. And that's it. That's all you need to do. You can move on to the next one. You don't even need to water them because they are dormant. The best time to plant your bulbs is between September and October, when the ground has started to cool down, but your ground is not completely frozen. You can plant in many parts of the US well into November. You just don't want to have the ground totally frozen because it's too hard to dig in, and it will be difficult to get your bulbs deep enough for them to be in a good spot to emerge properly in the spring. That's it, planting bulbs. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment about any other videos you'd like to see, and I'll see you next time.